Reading fill in the blanks guided practice. Question number 1. So what is this text about? Let's read it a bit. Let's skim through it. In addition to closing the sale, salesperson has a role, salesperson, touch point, brand, sales force is visible, critical element, power brands. Okay. So this is about, salesperson and their role in building the image of a brand, building trust with the customer. Now let's look at the first blank. In addition to closing the sale, the salesperson has a very important role in the dash process. So what do we need here? Type of process. So sales is related to what? Sales is related to marketing, and salesperson is involved in the marketing process. So that is our correct option here. Because the salesperson is a dash touch point. So salesperson is what type of a touch point? We need an adjective. Which one of these can be adjectives here? Trusted or trusting is not the right form. So yeah, trusted is a primary touch point. So trusted and primary, they both can be the adjectives, but what we need is the primary touch point, and you must have often heard the first touch point. So that's it is meant by primary. The sales force is the most visible dash of the brand. So what is visible of the brand? Image of the brand, representation of the brand. So what word is similar in meaning to that? Manifestation of the brand. So people, they can touch a brand, but when they see the sales people, when they interact with the sales force, that to them is the representation or the manifestation of the brand. So we go with manifestation here. The critical element that power brands have is trust, and a sales force needs to become the dash advisor to the customer. So what kind of advisor can it be? From here, if you look, even if you use the remaining words, trusting advisor, trusted advisor, so trusted advisor, that's an adjective. So become the trusted advisor, somebody the customers, they can rely on, they can trust. All right, so that's the first question. I hope you were able to understand the reason why we selected different options. So a combination again of logic and grammar-based reasoning. Let's go to the next question now. You can pause if you need some time to answer this. These are the answers. And what's the text about? Availability of technology and something to build green buildings in every sector, another diversity of green technology. Okay, so this is about green technology, green buildings, the role of technology in building environment friendly or green buildings. Now let's look at the first word, the availability of technology and dash. We need a noun here. So what will go along with technology? So you need technology, and what else do you need? Commercial breakthrough techniques, knowledge. Yeah, you need knowledge. So you need technology and you need knowledge to do anything, right? To build anything. So to build green buildings has passed a dash point. So with points, what are the common words that you have heard? Boiling point, freezing point, and tipping point. So tipping point, it means a critical point has been reached, and after that massive change happens. So it has passed a tipping point. Green buildings are constructed all over the world in every sector of the economy. Residential, non-profit, government. So residential, non-profit, government, they're types of the sectors of economy. Which else is a sector of economy from these remaining words? Commercial. So commercial, non-profit is one. Opposite of non-profit is commercial, the commercial sector. Another dash is the diversity of green technology. So we need a noun here, something. Another is the diversity of. So out of the remaining that we have breakthrough techniques, tapping, option, capitalize. I think breakthrough, another breakthrough, because it denotes like an important development, because of which the diversity of green technology is another breakthrough that has made this tipping point happen. And the last, so any green builder has the ability to dash on the local. There is an abundance of options. So any green builder has the ability to dash on the local natural resources available. So we need a verb here which will help us understand what the green builders can do to make use of these opportunities. And making use of the opportunities, that's called capitalizing on the opportunities. So the green builder has the ability to capitalize. All right. So those were the words: knowledge, tipping, commercial, breakthrough, and capitalize. If some of these words or any words when you are doing any question, be it reading, writing, and speaking, listening, if you come across any word that you find difficult or that you are not familiar with, please make a note of that word. So as I think I mentioned in the past, you should keep a running list of these vocabulary words, okay, that you're familiar with, and revise them, review them every few days. So by the time of your exam, you'll probably would have learned 100 new words, and that's really going to make a difference. Let's look at the next question now. Question number 3. Quickly skim through this. System has a bottleneck, even if it's a minor one. System was running at full. Identifying bottlenecks is critical. Efficiency. Determine the area. Full capacity and finding the machine. All right. So the text is about bottlenecks in the system, how to identify the bottlenecks, how to improve the efficiency, how to ensure that the machines, they can run at full capacity. So it's around that, yeah, systems, bottlenecks, and their performance, their efficiency. Let's look at the first one. If every system was running at full, at least one machine would be, even if it's a minor one. So if every system was running at full, we need a noun here, and with full, so it means to indicate the maximum amount that can be done. So we say full speed or we say full capacity. So it should be full capacity, because later on, if you see in the last sentence, there's another mention of full capacity. So that gives you a hint. And also when we talk about production, we talk about capacity, we don't talk about speed. So machines, if every system was running at full capacity, at least one machine would be, okay, so we need a would be doing something. At least one machine would be doing something, would be doing something. So we need a verb here, and identifying, improving, motivating, or accumulating. So the first three don't make any sense. Machine would be accumulating processes, means it would be gathering or processes that are waiting for happen, because there is a bottleneck in the system. So, and the system is running at full capacity, but there's some bottleneck, even if it is minor one, then at least one machine in that, the whole system would be slower and it would be accumulating processes. So identifying bottlenecks is critical for dash efficiency in the production. What do we do to the efficiency? For improving efficiency in this production line. So this one's simple, improving efficiency in the production line. After that, bottlenecks can be found through dash the areas where accumulation occurs. So how do you find a problem? By identifying the areas. So again, if the choice is between identifying, motivating, you will go with identifying the areas where accumulation occurs, assessing dash each machine is being used at full capacity, and finding the machine with the high wait time. What will you assess? So we sort of need a conjunction here, because it's a condition that we want to talk about where accumulation occurs, assessing whether. So that's the conjunction, and don't be confused between the spellings. We need WHETHER, not the other whether. So whether, assessing whether each machine is being used at full capacity, and finding the machine with the high wait time. All right. So that's the solution. Once again, you have seen how important it is to not just focus on the sentence in which the blank is, but also the sentences around it and the rest of the text. Let's look at the final passage now. So all Centrelink income payments are payable fortnightly. They are also subject to means test, which the recipient fortnightly income and assets and affects the rate of their payment. As such, people on lower incomes may be. So this is about some social security payments or some income payments and how they are done and on what basis they are done. So let's look at the first sentence. All Centrelink income dash payments. So what do we need here? Income dash payments. What kind of payments? Income dash income payments. So even if you remove the blank, all Centrelink income payments, that would be a fine sentence. But if there is a blank, that means it is further qualifying what kind of payment. So if you look at the options here, all Centrelink income entitled payments, support payments. Support payments make sense because income support, two words that you often hear together. So income support payments, they're also subject to a means test which dash the recipient fortnightly income. So the means test, what can it do to the fortnightly income? It will calculate. So it calculates, right? Means test which calculates the recipient's fortnightly income. So calculates and means test. So subject verb agreement is also there. So we go with calculates and affects the rate of their payment. So what we need is an adverb here to describe how the rate of payment is affected. So what can we use? We can use accordingly. Means depending upon the income, accordingly, the rate of their payment is affected or adjusted, you can say. As such, people on lower incomes may be dashed to part payment of their allowance subject to other qualification requirements. So we need, again, a verb here, and we are talking about some kind of an eligibility for people on lower income and to receive those part payments. So I think the correct option, entitled. Entitled, it indicates having a right to something. So people on lower incomes, they are entitled to part payment. And the last one, the dash of income and assets varies greatly between different social security payments. So we need a noun here which sort of describes the process or action of evaluating income and assets here. And that is, what is that process? That is assessment of income. So you assess the income and assets, and based upon that, then the Centrelink, it can vary the payments that are made, and also payments, they can vary between different types of social security arrangements. All right, so those are the correct options. The takeaway for us, you certainly need to have a basic understanding of grammar. I mean, you don't need to be an expert, but things like, do I need a verb? Do I need a noun? Do I need an adjective, adverb? These few things you should know. And there's a separate lecture where we talk about the grammar rules or some grammar rules to follow, some tips for filling the blanks. That is very helpful. So you need to know those basic rules, and then you just need to quickly skim the text, get an overall idea. Okay. And based upon that, I'm sure if you practice sufficiently, you'll be able to answer all the fill in the blanks questions correctly.